Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Chapter 21. Runty stared blankly at Luozi, who was about the same age as her. This boy is going to take her away? Why? Do not. Can't go. Will be killed. I will be killed by Kaido-sama. You stole Kaido's devil fruit, aren't you afraid of being killed? Luozi probably knew what these two fruits were. Not surprisingly, they are Zoan dragon fruit ancient species. Pachycephalosaurus form. Zoan dragon fruit ancient species Spinosaurus form. No? Once my brother and I become capable users, Master Kaido will not kill us even if he gets angry again. If we die, devil fruit will be reborn in another place. Runty replied very positively. Steal 2 devil fruits in order to survive the gang of predatory pirates. This is not a reckless mindless action, but the result of careful consideration. You're very smart. Luozi praised. However, it's up to you whether you leave or not. In the words, Kamui has activated. Kamui in the right eye absorbs Runty and drags her into a different dimension. Runty felt that the resistance was futile, and immediately shouted, Master Luozi, if you must take me away, please take my brother away too. After speaking, the person has disappeared. Sister. The timid Peggy Wan became anxious. You go into. There is nothing wrong with Luozi. This kid still has a bit of potential, so it's okay to take him away as a younger brother. In the future, there will be at least tens of millions of people in Elegia, and it doesn't matter if there is one more or one less. This time, he also entered the Kamui space. Together. This is a dark space. After Luozi appeared, the siblings looked at him nervously. Tell me first, where is Yamato? His Highness Yamato. Runty was taken aback for a moment. Being smart, she soon realized that the other party was not after them. Yesterday, His Highness Yamato angered Lord Kaido, was thrown to the top of the castle, and was taught a lesson by Lord Kaido. Hearing this, Luozi nodded, and immediately activated his ability to disappear in the Kamui space. At the same time, the top cover of the skeleton castle, on the huge platform, thunder 8 trigrams. Kaido swung the mace and sent his daughter flying with one stick. Too weak, Yamato. He said with a gloomy face, are you my Kaido's daughter? Yamato fell to the ground, his forehead was soaked in blood, and he was short of breath. Kaido? I don't have a father like you. Also, I have decided to be a man. She gritted her teeth and glared at her father. Hearing this, the veins on Kaido's forehead popped up, and he really wanted to beat this stupid daughter to death with a stick. At this moment, a vortex of space was born between the two, and a figure quickly emerged. Isn't it time? It's you? Brat. Kaido recognized Luozi and narrowed his eyes. I was run away by you last time, and you dare to come to my place. How brave you are. Luozi said with a faint smile, last time I asked you to send your daughter to be my maid, but you didn't take any action, so I had no choice but to come in person. Big tone, brat. What kind of shit Shishibukai does it give you? Kaido was furious. No matter how miserable Yamato is, that is also his daughter. His daughter, serving as a maid? Without too much nonsense, he stepped out with one step, leaving deep shoe prints on the ground. The next moment, a person appeared in front of Luozi. A mace suddenly hit the face door. However, the expected scene of being hit or blocked did not appear. The mace was gone. Passed through Luozi's head. The power of this blow, the wind that it set off, was like a cannon, and with a bang, a boulder hundreds of meters away was smashed into pieces by the air. Kaido's pupils shrank. God avoids. Luozi drew out the saber from his waist, and swept it upwards. The sword energy is like a rainbow. The silver sword chi slashed at Kaido's abdomen, knocking him flying in an instant. A teenage boy, wielding a knife that didn't fit at all, chopped off the huge Kaido with one blow. This scene stunned Yamato not far away. Kaido is repelled. Who is this little boy? She who didn't read the newspaper didn't know her at all. Kaido was repelled by a sword, but quickly stabilized his figure, and his feet only dragged a distance of tens of meters on the ground. He stared at Luozi, and said in a cold voice, this move. Roger's swordsmanship? Who are you? Sure enough, without haki entanglement, Luozi was not surprised to see Kaido safe and sound. Kaido touched the left eye and dismissed it. It seems that only your dragon is strong, and it can injure me. Your own strength is inferior to this sea. Note Kaido's left eye, which has an obvious scar. Obviously it was caused by Quailong's previous Destructive deathlight. For Kaido's sarcasm, Luozi couldn't help laughing. You are confident in your physical body. Kamui. The gaze is fixed. In an instant, the space-time ninjutsu was activated. In Kaido's heart, space is suddenly distorted by a force. Feeling a strong tearing force, Kaido's expression changed suddenly. He looked down at his chest. The space is distorting, and the whole person is distorting. But the center of the distortion was his heart. Boom! A stream of Conqueror's haki suddenly wrapped around him. However, even so, it is still difficult to resist the distortion of time and space. How is it possible? With the fruit power that even my haki can't resist. Kaido couldn't believe it, and immediately took a step back. However, the distortion of time and space seems to go hand in hand. It seems that you have stopped here, frog at the bottom of the well. Luozi's voice came. The next moment, blood gushed out. Chapter 22, A Dragon's Roar sounded. Kaido transforms into a dragon just before space tears his heart apart. Starting from the head, it changed its posture and quickly rushed to the sky. It's just that he understood it too late. A gentle stream of blood spilled in midair and landed on the ground with a patter. Falling together, there is also a leg below the knee. Kaido's left leg. Yamato, who stared at this scene, was completely stunned. Her invincible monster father had a leg broken? No, if it wasn't for the incarnation of the green dragon at the end, which caused the position of that wonderful space vortex to shift. In that instant, Kaido's heart will be strangled. Will die? Realizing this, Yamato was so shocked that he was completely speechless. In midair, the green dragon hovered. It was just the dragon's left hind paw, and the wound was dripping with blood. At this time, a strong killing intent and hidden fear burst out from the huge dragon's eyes. This is not Devil Fruit's ability, he said in a firm tone. His voice gnashing his teeth. With my haki, it is impossible not to resist. It's just a kid in his teens. Even if he ate devil fruit on the first day of his birth, it's impossible to improve his fruit ability to this level in just 10 years. Clap clap. Luozi couldn't help applauding him, and said softly, as expected of the pirate emperor, it's the first time I've seen it, and I can still avoid a fatal blow. He was really going to kill Kaido just now. As a native of the One Piece world, when facing Kamui for the first time, he will basically be tricked. The dominance of time and space ninjutsu doesn't care about your defense. Kaido said in a serious tone, I already understand your ability. The answer with one leg. The opponent's ability can track and lock, but this tracking is not instantaneous. There is a delay. When he was retreating, the distorted time and space shifted slightly, and once deviated from the position of the heart. Although it was quickly locked again, he still keenly discovered the flow. In other words, if the speed is fast enough, the opponent cannot lock it. Then, the answer is more obvious. This ability is activated with the eyes. Vision tracking? The focus of the eyes distorts time and space. Kaido analyzed calmly in his heart. He noticed that Luozi's eyes, the blood-colored eyes, had strange patterns, which were completely different from the last time they met. Your eyes. Kaido showed his fighting spirit. Your name is Luozi? Kid, I take back what I just said, you really have great strength. Surrender to me, join the Beasts Pirates, and I can give you the position of deputy captain. Beasts Pirates, the highest status is of course his captain, followed by the three major powers, the Big Kanban Three Disasters. However, Luozi's performance made him love talents, and he agreed on the spot, not even thinking about breaking his leg. In this regard, Luozi's mood did not fluctuate. He admires Kaido's magnanimity, but how can a real man stay under others for a long time? Not thinking about it for a second, Luozi just likes being on top, although it may cost a little. Seeing that he didn't say a word, Kaido understood, and the murderous intent in his eyes was undisguised. I'm sorry, then please die. He opened his mouth and growled. Bad wind. Countless wind blades, like the slash of the sickle weasel, poured towards Luozi like a violent storm. Boom boom boom. The entire top of the skull was shaking, the floor was torn apart, and where countless wind blades passed, blue wings were everywhere. During this violent attack, Luozi stood motionless like an old monk. The wind blade kept cutting the body and passing through it again and again. There was even a leisurely taunt, use a little force. Missed, the attack went through. Kaido thought of the other party's ability to break one of his legs, so he could guess a little bit. The activation of any ability requires the user's physical strength to maintain it. How long can you last, brat? He stopped the attack of the wind blade and sneered. The answer is 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, Luozi is immune to all attacks, whether physical or elemental. Much more outrageous than Logia's elementalization. Of course, Luozi is not the kind of idiot who shows off his abilities, and will not be so stupid as to tell the other party. Seeing that Kaido stopped attacking, he chuckled twice. If I don't play with you anymore, I will take your daughter away. As soon as the words fell, he disappeared into the vortex of time and space. When it reappeared, it was behind Yamato. The girl was in a dazed state. The whole time. It was the first time she saw such a distressed father. Before he could react at this time, the space around him had been distorted. You bastard! Kaido was furious, much more angry than before when he broke his leg. Boom! A terrifying conqueror's haki immediately pressed towards Luozi overwhelmingly. This strand of haki carries the will of the master. The strong will impacts the mind of the person, and will make the weak-willed obey the other party unconsciously, or fainting. This attack is far faster than the speed of sound. Luozi also felt a bit uncomfortable in this haki, as if the air had become thick and he was in the sea. But he smiled. I took your baby daughter away, don't worry, I will help you educate her. After speaking, the vortex of time and space disappeared. Those who disappeared together were Luozi and Yamato. Kaido's face was sullen enough to drip ink. This brat's ability is really tricky. If you are close, you can't fight close, and you will be locked by time and space. If you are not careful, you will be killed by time and space distortion on the spot. Long-distance attacks can't hit people. Can only consume, exhaust the opponent's physical strength. But he is not a fool. If he wants to run, who can stop him? It's impossible to fight one-on-one. At least 2 people are needed, so that he can't activate the ability to distort space all the time. Chapter 23, Tricky Ability. Kaido transforms back into human form, and observation haki instantly covers the entire Onijima. He didn't notice Luozi's breath completely disappeared. At this time, a pitch-black pterosaur flew out of the castle, landed in front of Kaido, and quickly turned into a pitch-black man wearing a spiked mask. The man has a pair of huge black wings. Master Kaido. When he saw Kaido's appearance, he was inexplicably shocked. The pirate emperor in front of him had lost his left leg, and he was standing on one foot, exuding an aura of rage all over his body. Who did it? In today's world, someone can cut off a leg of Lord Kaido? Whitebeard can't even do it. He thought in disbelief. But it doesn't look like it was chopped off. Judging from the bloody wound, it seems to be torn off abruptly. This is even more terrifying. Jin. Kaido glanced at his subordinates, one of the big signboards, the 3 calamities. Yin, you are too late. My daughter has been taken away. I'm very sorry. Her Majesty Yamato? Who is it? Yin knelt down on one knee and said in amazement, Whitebeard? Big Mom? Or Marine? Why are you staring at His Highness Yamato? It's Shishibukai. A brat named Luozi. Kaido didn't care about losing face in front of his subordinates. Compared to losing a leg, the fact that her daughter was kidnapped in her lair is a greater shame. Dragon Rider. Yin's pupils shrank suddenly. The morning news, he read. He has always been dismissive of the Shishibukai recognized by the government, but he never thought there would be such a strong person. That stinky brat is pretty powerful, with weird abilities. Kaido said coldly, go and investigate and find his hiding place. Don't fight him to the death, you are alone, not his opponent. Even he has suffered this kind of loss, as Yin, facing that kind of move for the first time, he might die. Kaido doesn't want to lose a capable man. Yes. Yin took a deep breath and nodded immediately. The heart for Shishibukai has been raised to a new level in an instant. Kamui space. May I have your name? You're going to take me away, don't you know? Who are you? You're amazing. Yamato asked curiously, looking at the little boy who was only as tall as his chest. No response. The system did not respond. Obviously, when he saw Runty, or even Rebecca, who was only 4 years old, the system asked him to arrest her and go back to be a dancer. As a result, when they arrived at Yamato, others caught him back, but there was no response. At this point, I took a good look at Yamato. As Kaido's biological daughter, Yamato, who is only 16 years old, has inherited his father's excellent genes and grows very tall. The two stood there facing each other. Luozi's eyes were level, and he could only look at each other's car lights. Needless to say, the development is very good. My name is Luozi. My name is Yamato. Where is this place? Yamato looked around, and soon saw a pair of younger brothers not far away, and said in surprise, Runty, have you been arrested too? The voice sounded quite happy. Your Highness Yamato. Runty looked at Luozi dumbfounded, and she really came down towards His Highness, and really caught him back. I'll take you to Elegia. We'll talk about it later, you stay here first, and there's one more person. With that said, Luozi disappeared into the Kamui space. Junti and Yamato looked at each other. The younger brother Peggy-wan whispered, where is Elegia? What will happen to us? I don't know, don't worry about Ziope, my sister will protect you. Yamato said excitedly, I can finally leave Kaido? What is the outside world like? Wanokuni, Huaju. As the most prosperous capital among the 6 major regions in China, on the streets of Huaju, pink sakura flowers dance with the wind. The scenery is beautiful, but the air is not pleasant. Because of the cooperation between Shogun Kurozumi Arakai and Kaido, weapons factories were opened all over the country and the pollution was serious. In Huaju on this day, the whole city is extremely lively. After several years of changing a new boss, a brothel finally made a big move. Have you heard? At Kwang Shilang's house, there will be an Warren Grand Prize tonight. All the rich people who spend all their money will come to join us. I heard that there are 3 super beauties, especially a woman named Xiaozi, who has been studying for several years, and today is the first day she is out of the cabinet. Ah, Xiaozi. When I was passing by, I saw her on the 2nd floor. She is definitely the winner tonight, and she will definitely be the Warren in the future. I really want to sleep with the Warren. Don't be stupid. Ordinary people have no chance. Do you know how much it costs to train in Warren? They won't receive ordinary guests at all. Literature, calligraphy, tea ceremony, Qin art, shamisen, everything must be a grandmaster. The first level of appearance is already a small problem. From the first day of training, there are strict rules on what to eat. Well, I heard that Hukyui's shit is fruit-flavored. Hey, don't say such disappointing things. Let's go to the brothel. We can't sleep. Can't we take a look? The 3 Wanokuni LSPS discussed in public, and then went to the brothel together. Behind the 3 of them, Luozi followed suit. His complexion couldn't help but look a little weird. If I remember correctly, after Kojiki Hiyori entered the brothel, her pseudonym was Xiaozi, and because of her outstanding appearance and talent, she quickly became the Warren. But it should be 14 years old this year. Beast, 14 years old is against the law? Just thinking about it, a little heartbeat. 16-year-old Yamato, the system didn't respond. Could it be that 14-year-old Kojiki Hiyori also didn't respond? With the mentality that everything has come, Luozi did not go directly to kidnap people. The Warren Awards, such an excellent activity that contains history and culture, will be a loss if you don't know it. So, he followed the 3 LSPS all the way to the brothel. Because there is an event tonight, there are a lot of guests in front of the brothel. There are bodyguards in charge of security, and 2 servants in charge of welcoming guests. 3 distinguished guests, please come inside. The boy knew people by clothes, and enthusiastically invited 3 LSPS in. When it was Luozi's turn, he was stunned. Wait a minute? You wait a moment. Okay. The boy grabbed Luozi, and said angrily, the little brat is also going to the brothel like the grown UPS? Go home and find your mother to drink milk. You are discriminating against customers, who stipulated that children cannot enter. Luozi was speechless. What can you do if you go in? The boy waved his hand. You can't do anything. Besides, do you have money? Luozi would love to slap a million Baileys on this man's face. But Wanokuni does not circulate Bailey, and Wanokuni's money is Beijin, gold, and silver. I have this, can I? Luozi drew out the knife, and with lightning speed, put the knife on the man's neck. Yes, absolutely yes. The little servant immediately raised his hands, and said with a smile on his face, my lord warrior, please come inside. Chapter 24. After entering the brothel, Luozi immediately smelled the fragrance all over the room. In the lobby of the antique brothel, There are a lot of guests, men wearing all kinds of expensive silk costumes, sitting at each table in 2s and 3s. There are also many brothel women, carrying tea, walking among the guests. The man who would come to this kind of place is obviously not a serious person. Seeing a woman coming to serve, she had to tease her or use her hands and feet. This kind of woman belongs to the lowest level of existence in the brothel, at the low end of the food chain. It's a wandering girl. The more advanced ones are called geisha, and the piano, chess, calligraphy, and painting are professional skills, serving people with higher social status. Geisha don't sell themselves. To be precise, they need to pay more. And the waran is the woman who is at the top of all geisha, and her appearance is only the first hurdle. It is the basic requirement to be overwhelmed by the country and the city, and all talents must undergo rigorous training. For the waran, just adding money is no longer enough. It is not the guests who pick her, but she who picks the guests. The reason for this is, of course, the result of Aang's introversion. Of course, it's not just any guests, even the warans are worthy of selection. As long as the power status is high enough, the waran is no different from ordinary prostitutes. It's so lively. Looking at Yinyanjianyan's lobby, Luozi couldn't help feeling emotional. Sure enough, LSP is the primary productive force. After finding a karakura to take a seat, at this moment, a young woman came over. Oh, does little brother also come to this kind of place? She covered her mouth and chuckled. Luozi has black lines all over his head. It was the first time in my life that I went to a brothel and was molested by a prostitute. When will your waran come out? The young wandering girl smiled even more narrowly. Xiao Ziai and the others are still putting on makeup. What does my little brother need? My sister's tea ceremony is a must. As he spoke, he even put the things in his hand on the table, and sat beside him. They got very close, and even reached out to stroke Luozi's head. What a cute little brother. Is he a guest or she is a guest? Luozi felt that he was at a disadvantage. He said with a speechless face, just make a cup of tea, let me tell you. First, I don't have any money. No Wanokuni money. My sister invites you to drink. The young girl was very enthusiastic, and she began to make tea gracefully. While making tea, he asked with a smirk, which family did the little brother come with? Can't I come by myself? Luozi rolled his eyes. Yunu's eyes were full of teasing. Then what does the little brother want to do here? Did you not want to serve other people, so you followed me specifically? Luozi saw through the truth. Hey, what an annoying little brother. Yunu glanced angrily, and stopped making tea. This is also a reason, but you are very cute, little brother, so my sister came here because of it. While speaking, a pot of tea had already boiled. She poured it out and rebrewed the second pot, and then gently poured a cup for Luozi. Please drink tea, little guest. Such a cup of tea costs 10 silver, and today it is cheaper for you. Luozi took a sip of the tea, but he didn't know what kind of tea it was, but the tea was very fragrant and the color was very clear. Having nothing to do left and right, I started chatting with this wandering girl. Waited for half an hour. The atmosphere in the lobby suddenly became lively. 3 women who were obviously dressed up a notch above the other girls appeared on the second floor. Oh, here it comes. It's finally here. Is the Waran Grand Prize going to start? Xiao Ziai? Xiao Ziai. The guests abandoned the woman beside them in an instant, and turned their gazes to the second floor. Luozi also looked over. Among the 3, the one standing in the middle is obviously the most beautiful, with emerald hair. Kojiki Hiyori looked a bit cramped, stared at by the heat's gaze. At this time, a man with slender eyes, squinting eyes, and a wig with an airplane head appeared on the second floor. Dear guests, I am Guangxi Lang. He said with a smile. The 3 people beside me are Xiao Hong, Xiaozi, and Xiao Lian. Today is the day when they leave the court, and I specially held today's Waran Awards for them. The guests cheered and were excited. Luozi observed this person with great interest. Guangxi Lang, the gang boss, opened a brothel by the way. Formerly known as Denjiro, Kojiki Hiyori's father, Kojiki Oden's retainer. He knows Kojiki Hiyori's identity, but he still pushes people into the fire pit. As the former Wanokuni princess, once Kojiki Hiyori becomes an Waran, it goes without saying. Just like what the woman said in the original book, men like to sleep with me. If it is just this sentence, it is actually nothing, and it will even make people feel a little pitiful. But there is another sentence behind her. Are you very happy? Another problematic girl. Luozi thought in his heart, there is a mental problem. Maybe it was the pressure of the country's destruction and family destruction, which made people breathless. Facing a dark world, this little princess with a bad mind wants to do something, but there is no way. The only way is her own beauty. It should be her own idea to become an Oiran and get close to Kurozumi Orokai. It's not that Kushiro wants to push her into the fire pit. Luozi shook his head. All the tragedies in the world come from the lack of strength at that time. Of course, he is not interested in helping some princess restore the country. This woman with a bad brain, like her father with a bad brain, is indeed hereditary. The one with even worse brains was sent to Momosuke 20 years later. Anyway, there is no normal person in the Kojiki family, even in Tianyu. As a mother, she was very cruel and would leave her daughter behind. Properly patriarchal, the key son is a waste who has no power, but holds his own dignity. Think here. Luozi suddenly said loudly, what's the point of being an Oiran in such a small Wanokuni? Come with me and become a big star. As soon as these words came out, the noisy scene suddenly became audible. Chapter 25. The originally noisy brothel suddenly became quiet. Countless gazes focused on Luozi at once. Child. Is this kind of place where children should come? Oh, what a precocious child. Many guests let out laughter that men can understand. Kojiki Hiyori looked over in a daze, and when he saw a little boy, there was a trace of bewilderment on his cramped face. She is 14 years old and has lived in a brothel for several years, so she knows everything. However, the little boy at the age in front of him is obviously not good enough. Seeing the little boy staring at her at this moment, Kojiki Hiyori suddenly understood. What I said just now was talking to her. A strange color flashed in the bright eyes, and a little curiosity inevitably arose in my heart. Kwang Shilang narrowed his eyes and showed a fox-like smile. Little brother, are you here to make trouble? Today is a good day. Judging by your appearance, you don't seem to be from Wanokuni. Have a good day. Luozi drank the tea in the cup slowly, looked at the frightened girl beside him, got up and said, I was very interested, but suddenly I'm not interested. While speaking, the security guards standing in various corners had already surrounded him. They say they are security guards, but they are actually gang members. At this moment, a servant's voice came from outside, My Lord General is here. A group of guards rushed in first and lined up on both sides. Then, a burly man with a big head and mouth, a square face, and a crown strode in. He. Kurozumi Orokai came to the lobby, glanced across the audience, and finally landed on Kushiro on the second floor. Kurozumi, I heard that you have a particularly outstanding woman under your command, so I came to participate. What's the name? Xiaozi. Where is he? All the guests and girls on the scene were silenced. Beside Kurozumi Orokai, a man dressed as a monk with long ears said lightly, What are you doing in front of the general? As soon as this remark came out, everyone seemed to return to their senses. In an instant, he knelt down on the ground. See my Lord General. He. Today is a good day for the brothel, so don't be so nervous. Proud of his own power, Kurozumi smiled and looked at the crowd, but suddenly saw someone not kneeling. Immediately his face turned ugly. How can there be children in this place? Glancing at Luozi, Kurozumi Orokai wanted to show his power, but facing the child, doing so would only make him lose face. So, even though I'm upset, I'll be patient for the time being. Kwang Shilang knelt on one knee, raised his head slightly at this time, and showed a wicked smile. Master General, Xiaozi is here. What a beauty. Kurozumi Orokai saw Kojiki Hiyori at a glance, and his eyes lit up. Immediately, you are Xiaozi? He. Come with me, go to General Castle. A hint of hatred flashed in Kojiki Hiyori's eyes, but it was well hidden. She made a shy look, and when she was about to refuse, a silver light flashed. Puff. Kurozumi Orokai's laughter stopped abruptly. A head rolled off the neck with a grunt. In an instant, there were screams one after another. Countless people were terrified and looked at the assailant tremblingly. Luozi shook off the bloodline on the knife, and slowly put the blade back into its sheath. Everyone was stunned in shock. What a fast knife! Clean and neat. Before the strike, there was no killing intent, No one would have thought that a little boy would suddenly assassinate the general. Master Orokai. The long-eared monk's pupils shrank suddenly, and he yelled angrily, "You actually assassinated the general? Come on, give me. The story is not over yet." A vortex of space had already been born around Luozi, and the next moment, a person appeared beside Kojiki Hiyori. Startled, Kojiki Hiyori watched with wide eyes. You, what are you going to do?" Luozi didn't bother to answer, grabbed the opponent's hand, and with a thought, Kojiki Hiyori was sucked into the Kamui space in the blink of an eye. Seeing this scene, Kwang Shilang's complexion changed drastically, and he immediately pulled out the saber from his waist. "Who are you? Let Xiaozi go." Luozi glanced at him, then focused on Kurozumi Orakai's corpse. "You are in the form of Zoan, phantom beast, snake fruit, Yamato no Orokai, with 8 lives. The corpse did not respond, as if it was really a corpse. "The situation is unknown, so you pretended to be dead." Luozi smiled disdainfully, "Then go die." In an instant, Kamui locked onto the heart of the corpse. An inexplicable force distorted the space. Immediately afterwards, puff, a hole was opened in the chest of the corpse, and the heart was wiped out. Master Big Snake. The long-eared monk felt cold all over. What a strange ability. Kwang Shilang was stunned. He didn't know whether to make a move. The princess was captured, but the man killed the Kurozumi Orokai. "Goodbye, Denjiro." The words that came into his ears suddenly made Kwang Shilang froze all over, and immediately lost the thought of doing anything. He looked at Luozi in disbelief. "I'll take the princess away. As for who Wanokuni will be the general in the future, I'm not interested at all. If you want to be one, you can too." Accompanied by the indifferent voice, Luozi learned Obito's movements, raising his hand from the head and going down little by little. Wherever it passes, the body disappears. When the last word came out, the person completely disappeared. Until then, the air in the lobby seemed to resume its flow. Everyone was inexplicably horrified. Compared to the capture of a geisha, the killing of Kurozumi Orokai, the ruler, was a major event that shocked the whole country. "It's over, something big happened." The guests dispersed in a rush, frantically trying to escape. Kwang Shilang shuddered all over, and the words Luozi said before he disappeared kept echoing in his mind. This person knows his identity, and also knows Xiao Zi's identity? Who is it? How chaotic Wanokuni is. Luozi has no interest at all, and he doesn't care whether Kurozumi is dead or not. His heart has been wiped out by him. If this is still alive, then don't call it the Yamato no Orokai form. It is more appropriate to call it the undead fruit. After kidnapping Kojiki Hiyori, Luozi immediately released the fast dragon and returned to Elegia. Music room. Yuta lay listlessly on the table, listening casually to the music teacher Gordon teaching knowledge on it. "Where did Ziz, that nasty guy, go? My heart is gloomy." Seeing her attitude, Gordon had no choice but to stop the class and said helplessly, "Yuta, Luozi will be back soon, don't worry." "I'm not worried." Yuta puffed up his cheeks insincerely. At this moment, Brooke walked in and said, "Mr. Luozi is back." "He's back." Yuta's eyes lit up. He regained his energy in an instant, jumped up from his seat, and rushed out of the music room like a gust of wind. "Yo ho 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 ho, the relationship between the two is so good." Brooke had a smile on his aunt's face, although he had no face. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Chapter 26, Ziz. Like a gust of wind, Yuta found Luozi after smelling it. She pushed open the door of the living room, and when she was about to run over to give her a hug to express her intimacy, she saw 5 people in the room. "Your name is Kojiki Hiyori, right?" "No. My name is Xiaozi," Kojiki Hiyori said fearfully. "Something's wrong." Luozi turned on the system, but there was no response for a long time. Facing 14-year-old Kojiki Hiyori, who is also good at playing musical instruments and is also very beautiful, the system did not respond. After pondering for a moment, Luozi realized. The key is age. The system favors young girls? "I'm really Xiaozi, you must have mistaken the person." Kojiki Hiyori insisted. "Well, can I ask, where is this place?" "The city of music, Elegia." Luozi looked at the door and saw Yuta coming in, so he smiled and said, "Come here, let me introduce you. This is Kojiki Hiyori, this is Yamato, this is Runty, and this is her brother Peggy Wan. Turning around, he said to the four of them, she is Yuta, Diva. Ziz, you brought 4 people back at once. Yuta's eyes sparkled. Great, Elegia is getting more and more lively. She greeted all 4 of them one by one. What is a diva? Yamato asked blankly. She was either practicing since she was a child, and she knew almost nothing about the outside world. Musician, similar to Mrs. Quinn. Runty glanced at Luozi secretly, as if she understood why the other party brought them here. At this time, Gordon and Brooke also came in one after another. Luozi, is this? Gordon looked at everyone in surprise. Yuta will not only need band accompaniment in the future, but also a dance troupe. They are the ones I have chosen. Luozi clapped his hands and said with a smile to everyone, anyway, let's have a welcome party first, and welcome you guys to Elegia. There must be more than a dozen backup dancers, which is far from enough. Now, as the world's #1 women's group in the future, good looks are the most basic, and they have to teach dance, so they need dance teachers. Considering that they are all women, it must also be a female dance master. Hearing what he said, Kojiki Hiyori and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Although he came to a new place and was taken by force, at least it didn't seem too malicious. However, a few people looked at Brooke, the skeleton or something, it looked so scary. At this time, Gordon nodded, showing a rare smile, then I will prepare the food for the banquet. Since it's a banquet, there must be a show, yo ho 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 ho. Bluno was happier than Yuta, the more people there were, the happier he was. Then let me present a song for everyone. After Brooke finishes singing, I will sing too, everyone come and sing. Yuta happily grabbed Luozi's arm, and said emotionally, Ziz, thank you, you have been busy everywhere for me. It's good to know, and I will work harder to sing in the future. Luozi touched Yuta's little head, the harder the little diva worked, the bigger his reward would be. Suddenly, his face froze. What's wrong? Yuta kept paying attention. Luozi looked at the contents of the system. Having new companions join, this is something to be happy about. But for the banquet, how can there be no new songs? Please pull new songs from the library. Here we go, the new song is finally here. This thing seems to be completely random, there is no pattern, and it will come out whenever it wants to. Luozi took a decisive shot. Congratulations on getting the sheet music rolling. Star Diva training task. Professor Yuta rolling. Star, when the singing score reaches 60 points, the agent will be rewarded with a random Zanpakuto. This song is from Shinigami. Luozi has been listened to many times, it is a very high rock song. The lyrics are a pep song for those who struggle every day. Among the many songs in the Shinigami series, this is one of Luozi's favorites. What's the matter, Ziz? Seeing that he was in a daze, Yuta couldn't help asking with concern. It's nothing. I thought of a new song, I'm writing it down now. Luozi greeted everyone, and turned his head. Go to the music room. Mr. Luozi, can you still write songs? Great. Brooke said in surprise. The 2 songs I sang before were also written by Ziz, he is a genius. Yuta's face was full of pride. Everyone came to the music room. Luozi took out the blank score, quickly copied a copy, and wrote the lyrics along the way. Yuta and Brooke rushed over immediately, and even Kojiki Hiyori chimed in curiously. This is rock. Brooke exclaimed, Mr. Luozi, did you write this specially for the banquet? It's unbelievable. You can write this kind of song in such a short period of time, it's amazing. Luozi, if he had this ability, he would have been famous in his previous life, but it's hard to explain, so let's just treat it like this. Ziz is a genius, do you believe it? Yuta said excitedly, then come and sing, Ziz. This song needs a bassist, a drummer, a guitarist. Of course, there must be an electronic piano, but there are none in the castle, but it doesn't matter, one less is not a big problem. After thinking for a while, Luozi nodded and said, I'll play guitar. Brooke, you play bass. Yuta, can you play drums? Sorry, I won't. Yuta said apologetically. Let me come. Gordon walked in through the outer door with a piece of fruit in his hands. Then arrange it like this. Luozi nodded, smiled at Yuta and the others. You will be the audience. It was supposed to be a welcome party to welcome them. Yamato was full of interest, it seems very happy here. Soon, the women's volleyball team sat in a row, and Peggywan was a little transparent the whole time. As for musical instruments, there are all in the music room. Soon, Luozi, Brooke and Gordon followed the score and began to play. Because it is rock music, the rhythm is very bright, and the atmosphere at the scene is uplifted. After the prelude was over, Luozi sang into the microphone. I can't bear it anymore. I have to say what I want to say. The bus stop at dusk on the way home. Bye 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 to the back, gradually disappearing under the sunlight. You're fighting. Pose. Let me see. Oh. Chapter 27. If it's a cappella, Luozi thinks he can sing averagely, but with the blessing of the accompaniment, it sounds a little level. While playing the guitar, tap your right foot to the rhythm. Music is an incredible force, and a good song will move the audience. The world seen in the dream day-to-day peace without quarrels. However, the real world is full of disputes. Sometimes I feel regretful. Such rolling days. As the song reached its climax, the girls in the music room had different expressions. With a smile on Yuta's face, her hands kept clapping, and she was the most excited. Listening to the lyrics, Kojiki Hiyori couldn't help recalling the past scenes in her mind. This song seemed to cheer her up, and slowly recover from the painful memory. There is no smile. Runty just thought that Luozi sang very well. He is a boy of about the same age, not only powerful, but also surprising in terms of talent. Yamato is like a silly girl, shaking her legs with Luozi. For her, who has never left Ghost Island since she was born, it is so happy to be able to sit here and listen to other people singing. Was forcibly taken away? She just wanted to say thank you. What if you fall down? Just stand up with a smile. During the bus I saw a little smile. I am very dependent on you. Oh. When the song was over and Luozi stopped playing the guitar, there was warm applause in the music room. Everyone applauded, even Brooke and Gordon, who also participated in the accompaniment, also gave applause. You sang so well, Ziz, you are awesome. Yuta rushed to the stage. It's up to you next. Luozi gave up the microphone. I'll come first. Brooke immediately jumped in line, and said with a smile, Yuta is the finale, how can the ace come on stage all of a sudden? Then let Brooke sing first, and his Binks wine is also very good. Yuta applauded eagerly. Welcome to continue. Everyone felt happy, and in the world of music, they seemed to have forgotten their troubles. At the same time as Elegia happily held the welcome party. North Blue, Port Town, Spadameris. This is the stronghold of North Blue's famous mafia, the Don Quixote family. There is a waste treatment plant in the area near the port. In the center of the garbage mountain, there is another 3-story building. At this point, the conference room in the house. All the main members of the Don Quixote family gathered together. One of them was on crutches and had a runny nose. The top cotter, Plum Blossom Torrible, put down the newspaper and said with a strange smile, Hey, young master, this is really bad news. The government sent 2 news through Shijing within 1 day. Another top cotter, Spades Pika's voice was sharp. The 4th Shishibukai, Luozi, the Dragon Rider, I haven't heard of it, but the 5th Shishibukai, Pirate Empress Boya Hancock, since last year, but famous. There are only 2 positions left now. Dover, what should we do? The speaker, dressed like an indigenous tribe, was the 3rd highest cotter, Square Diamanti. Everyone looked at the main seat. Wearing a coquettish pink feather coat, the man with cross-legged legs looked at the newspaper in his hand, and let out a series of deep and frivolous laughter. Phew furfur, 2 Shishibukai appeared in 1 day. We don't have much time left, so it seems that the plan can only be advanced. As he spoke, he looked at a young woman among the family members. Monet, you set off now, go to New World, and find a way to enter the palace of Derice Rosa. Yes, young master. The young woman with grass-green long hair nodded and immediately took orders to leave. As for the next step, Torrible, where is the latest heavenly gold carrier? Doflamingo asked with a grin. In the kingdom of Nodis 3 days later. Hey, young master, what should we do? Do you even need to ask? Sink. In Doflamingo's eyes under the sunglasses, a venomous streak flashed. 11 o'clock at night. The welcome, which lasted for several hours, finally came to an end. Whether it was Brooke or Yuta, they all sang well. Even Luozi was pushed up by the crowd and had to sing on stage several times. Fortunately, he knows a lot of songs without repetition. These songs, because there is no score, he can't teach Yuta, but it is not a problem to sing them usually. The four of them who had just arrived in Elegia also had a great time, and for a while even forgot that they were kidnapped. After the meeting, Luozi arranged 4 more rooms for 4 people. Gordon's castle is very large, and there are many vacant rooms, so it is not afraid that it will not be able to live. For bathing, the women's bath is on the 1st floor, and you can see it when you come out of the restaurant. And walk to the right. Let's do this for today, and you all have a good rest. After making arrangements for the 4 of them, Luozi went downstairs. When he came to the men's bath, he took off his clothes, walked in, and after a brief rinse, he stepped into the large bath. Taking a bath happily, Luozi turned on the system. Diva training task, Professor Yuta rolling. Star, when the singing score reaches 60 points, the manager will be rewarded with a random Zanpakuto. Mission completed. Congratulations on getting Zanpakuto Ryujin Jaka. Shikai, white light flashed. In Luozi's hand, there was an extra knife. This Zanpakuto, a bit pervert. Luozi whispered in surprise, the strongest Shinigami, the sword of Yamamoto Yuanlian Agate, the strongest and the oldest one in the hot department. Zanpakuto has 2 stages of liberation. Shikai, Bankai. The liberation of the knife is the liberation of power. Bankai's Ryujin Jaka, with the core temperature of the sun, can cause unimaginable damage just by being released for too long. Even Shikai, the flame released by this knife can reach the surface temperature of the sun, which is more than 6,000 degrees Celsius. Chapter 28. Ryujin Jaka. The scabbard is brown, with a dark purple handle. It looks like an ordinary Teideo with an oval shape. Luozi pulled out the blade. After carefully looking at it, I held it in my hand and waved it a few times. It feels really good. Luozi is very satisfied. There are also so-called famous swords in this world. There are 12 gongs of supreme big knives, 21 gongs of big knives, and 50 gongs of good and fast knives. But the sword itself does not have much special power. It is not the same as Zanpakuto. It is the blade of the soul, which is infused with the power of a person's soul. Each blade is unique and possesses different powers. Everything is everywhere. While preparing Shikai, unleash the power of the knife. Suddenly, footsteps came from outside the bath. With a thought, Luozi immediately brought Zanpakuto into the Kamui space. Immediately afterwards, a woman was seen walking in. Yamato, you're taking a bath too? Yamato greeted with a smile. Why are you wearing nothing? I'm going to take a bath, of course I have to take off my clothes. Are you an idiot? Luozi. The logic is so clear that people have nothing to say. This is the men's bath, and the women's bath is next door. Yamato stepped into the bathtub with one foot. She clenched her fist. That's right, from today, I have decided to be a man. Luozi was speechless. The problem girl had many problems. He didn't know whether to thank her for the gift, call her a female bodhisattva, or correct this big-chested and ignorant behavior on the spot. Yamato entered the bath without any other thoughts between men and women, and even sat down beside Luozi like a brother. It's so comfortable, she made a cheerful voice. Before I was beaten up by Kaido, I felt comfortable after taking a bath. That guy is completely killing me, trying to kill me. Thank you for bringing me out. Really die, you will die. Luozi is unable to complain. Kaido is obviously training his daughter, hoping that her daughter will become her right-hand man in the future. Even in Kaido's grand plan, his daughter will be Wanokuni's general in the future. However, the way of training is too much. The girl who was thinking about how to correct this problem. An arm suddenly wrapped around him. Luozi felt his face hit something, and it was difficult to breathe. Yamato said, "You are amazing, brother Luozi. I admire you for beating Kaido like that. Teach me." Soon after, there was a conversation in the bathroom. "Stop entering the men's bath, or I'll send you back to Kaido. Only this matter, please don't do it, I will listen to you. Secondly, let's take lessons with Yuta starting tomorrow. Before the dance teacher is in place, you should learn some music knowledge first." Sounds like fun. Finally, hurry up and finish the bath, I'll watch outside. Thank you for your hard work, but is it necessary? Send you back to Kaido. Understood, Master Luozi? Please be careful. The next day, Yamato, who was strongly suppressed, obediently went to class with Yuta. Runty and Kojiki Hiyori, of course, were also scheduled, at least until Luozi found a suitable dance teacher. Daily music lessons had to be given. As for Luozi, he brought Peggy Wan to the forest outside the castle. Recalling what happened last night, Luozi felt helpless. Problem girls are not so easy to correct, but the problem is not big. Yamato is easy to handle. Of course, what makes him regret the most is that his body is too small to do anything, otherwise he would have taught Yamato a lesson yesterday. Lord Luozi. Peggy Wan came to the forest, his face was full of tension. Don't be nervous. From today onwards, I will train you. In Elegia, unlike in Beast's Pirates, there is no law of the jungle here. On the contrary, you must protect this place and your sister from now on. Luozi pulled out Zanpakuto from his waist and chanted the liberation language. Everything is ashes. Ryujinjaka, boom. Explosive flames are born in an instant. Fiery orange flames wrapped around the blade. The next moment, Luozi swept across with his sword. Flame divine avoidance. The slash formed by the flame swept across an area nearly 100 meters ahead in an instant. Wherever it passed, the trees were broken and the earth was scorched black. Peggy Wan was taken aback. He had such power with just a single blow. Luozi looked at the Zanpakuto in his hand and fell into deep thought. What is consumed is not spiritual power. He also doesn't have the spiritual power of a Shinigami. Similar to Mangekyo Sharinon, using Ryujinjaka's ability will drain his stamina. However, the ability itself does not make a difference. This is still a soul-slaying blade. It can directly kill the soul, and the flames released are not ordinary flames, but spiritual flames, which also target the soul. Thinking of this, Luozi took back Zanpakuto, turned to Peggy Wan and said, "Have you eaten the devil fruit?" Yes. Peggy Wan immediately transformed into a Spinosaurus. But because he is only 8 years old, 1 year younger than Yuta, the Spinosaur he transformed into is also a baby version. My sister eats Pachycephalosaurus, and I eat Spinosaurus. Peggy Wan replied honestly. Luozi nodded. He did not take these two ancient fruits, but left them to the siblings. After all, it is a bit too much to arrest people and snatch children's devil fruit. He also doesn't need two ancient species. Anyway, they will be my subordinates from now on, so just let them eat them. The fruit of Zoan just gives you a good foundation, but more importantly, physical exercise. Luozi pointed to a tree trunk not far away. Carry it on your back and train with me. Run 5 laps of the forest. 5 laps? Peggy Wan's eyes darkened. With his small arms and small body, how could he compare with the monster like Luozi? I will be exhausted. Old lady, help me. Noon. Luozi carried Peggy Wan, who was like a dead dog, back to the castle. Yuta and the others also finished their morning classes. They are a group of beautiful girls and they got to know each other very quickly. In the dining room, Gordon prepared lunch. A group of people get together for a meal. Brooke whispered to Luozi, Mr. Luozi, let me train together in the future. Don't look at me like this, I used to be the head of the guards of a certain country in West Blue. I am a swordsman, rebuilding Elegia. I also want to contribute. Okay. Luozi smiled and agreed. Suddenly, the voice of Kuai Long came from outside the castle. Luozi frowned slightly. Someone. Others can't understand the meaning of Kuai Long's cry, but as his own Pokemon, Luozi can somewhat understand it. Thinking of this, he said to everyone, you guys eat first, I'll feed Kuai Long. With that said, he walked out of the castle, came to a high slope outside the forest. In the sky above Elegia, a big bird covered in blue flames was confronting Kuai Long. That's Whitebeard's captain, Marco the Phoenix. Chapter 29, Phoenix Marco. The captain of the first team of the Sanhuang Whitebeard pirates. Now the bounty as a pirate is 1,075,000,000. With such a high bounty, even in New World, he is still a first-class big pirate. The devil fruit he ate was in the form of Zoan, phantom beast, bird fruit, and phoenix. Seemingly noticing Luozi below, Marco cast his gaze over. Sure enough, it's Shishibukai. Is this dragon the one in the photo? Kuai Long also noticed the arrival of the master, and immediately threw off Marco and swooped towards Luozi. Seeing this, Luozi jumped lightly and jumped off the high cliff. Kuai Long caught him firmly. Illegal entry without permission. Pirates are not welcome here. Luozi stood on the back of the dragon and said calmly, Huh? Aren't you a Shishibukai yourself? The phoenix turned into a human beast form, flapped its wings, and hovered not far in front of Luozi. I didn't expect to see you in this kind of place. Are you going to send out the ruined Elegia? What's your business? The night incident a few days ago, the news said that you made it up, Luozi. Marco looked at Luozi. He was indeed a child, but he didn't know if it was caused by some fruit ability. Do not. Luozi has read the news, and the world government obviously took the blame for him. As for the purpose, it is probably to appease the public. The government itself is not clear about his relationship with Karakura. What Kizaru saw at the time, at most, was that Karakura would not attack him. It's not you. Marco froze for a moment, then frowned and asked, what conspiracy does the world government have? It's really not me, is my pet. Luozi smiled lightly, raised his hand and pointed at the other party. Quick. Dragon, destroy Deathlight. Boom! A beam of golden high-energy light arrived in an instant, piercing through Marco's chest and abdomen in an instant. He never expected that this Shishibukai would suddenly attack. It hurts, you bastard. A big hole was opened in Marco's abdomen, and the viscera in his stomach was wiped out instantly. But while speaking, the injured part has already ignited a blue flame, and it is rapidly regenerating. I'm just passing by, but I don't mean to fight you. He glared. Illegal entry, just pass by and forget it, so why do you need the law? Sorry, your head seems to be very valuable. Will Whitebeard want to redeem you? Luozi drew out the Zanpakuto, and in an instant, explosive flames wrapped around the blade. In the next second, Kuai Long quickly approached Marco. Luozi swept across with his saber, rolling up monstrous flames, and charged directly at the opponent. Marco's expression changed. This daring kid actually wanted to catch him for a ransom? Not to Marine, but to Papa? Before he had time to think about it, he immediately rolled his wings forward to resist the oncoming fire. It's useless, I'm a phoenix, and you still want to use fire to deal with me? There is a limit to underestimating people. Before the word "do" was uttered, his eyes suddenly became astonished, revealing a sense of incomprehensible shock. Boom! The fire consumed him. This kind of flame with a temperature of thousands of degrees even caused the atmosphere to evaporate rapidly. But this is not the crux of the problem. What really surprised him was that after the flame wrapped around him, it seemed to be burning his soul. The pain that penetrated into the soul made Marco scream out. Ah, what kind of flame is this? He quickly flapped his wings, sprinted towards the sky, and rushed out of the fire circle. Cold sweat broke out on his face, and when he looked at Luozi again, he already had strong fear. Sure enough, Shishibukai, not to be underestimated. Tornado. Luozi gave the order calmly. The fast dragon let out a long cry, and in an instant, thunderclouds filled the sky above Elegia. A series of tornadoes were born out of thin air, blocking Marco's retreat. Hey, isn't this a bit too much? 2 against 1, it's a bit unreasonable. Marco was sweating coldly. The destructive death ray just now was so powerful that he didn't have the confidence to resist it at all. At this time, he was controlling the atmosphere and the hurricane again, and he immediately felt that it was tricky. If you want me to stop, take $1 billion. Your head is just over $1 billion. Give your Captain Whitebeard a face, and I won't take a fraction. Marco laughed angrily. Really? It seems that there is nothing to talk about. As soon as the words fell, he did not retreat but advanced, and suddenly dived. After approaching Luozi, his right foot turned into a phoenix claw and he grabbed it violently. Phoenix seal. The blow entangled armament haki, and the claws became pitch black. Dragon God dives. Kuai Long, who received the order, suddenly exploded several times the speed of sound, and his round head faced the claws of the phoenix. Boom! There was a loud bang, and shock waves swept in all directions. The impact visible to the naked eye stirred up the atmosphere, expanding rapidly in the form of a sphere. This loud noise could be clearly heard throughout Elegia. It was blocked. What a lot of strength. Marco's pupils shrank, his claws were pushed back, and the strength of the dragon at the opponent's feet was far beyond his imagination. Just brute force and speed? No haki? At this moment, Luozi jumped up, left Kuai Long's back, and grabbed Marco's neck with his outstretched left hand. The two were like a meteor, falling obliquely towards the sea. I got you. Luozi's eyes immediately turned into Mangekyo. You're crazy? You're also a capable person? Fell into the sea, everyone will die together. Marco gritted his teeth. It's you who will be finished. You look quite strong. It's not easy to capture alive. Between the words, the space quickly distorted with the right eye as the center. Marco's breath stagnates. What is it this time? Looking into Luozi's eyes, he felt a strong oppression. It was like a black hole, devouring everything around it. Damn. He felt extremely aggrieved. Overturned? There was no chance at all, and Marco was swallowed into the Kamui space with a whoosh sound. Seeing that Luozi was about to fall into the sea, Kuai Long moved at a high speed, as if teleporting, approaching quickly within a few flashes, and firmly caught his master. Luozi touched Kuai Long's head and said calmly, "The next time you see someone breaking in illegally, just shoot it." Down Chapter 30, Return to the Castle. Yuta and others all came outside the house because of the previous loud noise. What happened? Gordon asked in a deep voice. It's okay, it's settled. Luozi replied casually. Are you really okay? Yuta said with concern, I heard a loud bang, are you not hurt? I'm strong, don't worry. Luozi smiled and patted the little diva's head, go back to eat. Take a rest and continue with class. Bring everyone back to the restaurant. Kamui space. Damn, what is this place? Marco looked around, surrounded by huge square boulders, piled up in disorder. The line of sight can only see a distance of about a few hundred meters, and the place farther away is completely dark. In his knowledge-colored perception, there is no breath here. He smashed the square boulder under his feet with one punch. Different space, what's going on? That guy's ability is a bit weird. Let alone the dragon. Luozi himself, at one moment is a flame that burns the soul, and at another moment is a different space that can absorb others. It is impossible for the same person to have two devil fruit abilities at the same time. The power of flames is his knife? Did you eat devil fruit's knife? Marco sat cross-legged on the ground with his hands crossed over his chest, thinking deeply about his opponent's abilities and weaknesses. Always in the silent space, he could not perceive the passage of time. I don't know how long it has been. A vortex of space suddenly appeared in front of him, and Luozi appeared in front of him immediately after. You guy, what do you want? Marco immediately put on a defensive posture. Didn't I say it? I'm looking for you Whitebeard pirates to get along with each other. I'm a little short of money recently. Don't worry, I won't kill you. Luozi said slowly, besides, your ability is a bit tricky, and I don't have a sea stone by my side, so I can only ask you to stay here. The flame of the phoenix is the flame of regeneration. This means that Kamui, the left eye of Kaido's leg that can be twisted off, is not very good for Marco. People's internal organs were smashed by Kuai Long, and they will recover soon. Rather than capturing the other party alive, it is better to trap Marco in the Kamui space. You are too despicable. Marco said angrily, if you have the ability to fight with dignity, what do you count as 2-on-1? You, an old thing in his 30s, came to bully me, a 12-year-old kid, aren't you ashamed? Oh, you haven't won yet. Marco broke his defense, his old face blushed, and his face twitched violently. Tell me, what's Whitebeard's phone bug number? Luozi won the conversation with a teasing smile. You want to go to war with us? Marco saw that he was serious, and his face suddenly became serious. Did the government ask you to do it? No, no. If it was an order from the government, you would hand me over to Marine directly. He doesn't understand the opponent's motives. For real? It's all about extorting their white group? 10 billion Baileys? You don't need to know that. You are crazy. How can you be the opponent of our Whitebeard pirates? Marco shook his head and said, I admit that there is something about your ability. However, after I was recruited once, immediately understood. Really? Luozi raised his eyebrows. Your ability to suck people into this space must be activated at a short distance. Moreover, it needs to be charged for at least 1 second. During this time, you cannot move yourself. After a pause, Marco said firmly, once you face more than 2 enemies, you will feel very uncomfortable. Precise, correct. Luozi praised. Seeing that he was still full of spare time, Marco was rather confused. Did he see through the essence of ability and not waver at all? It seems that you haven't figured it out yet, so let's starve you for a few days. Stay alone. With that said, Luozi left the Kamui space. Bastard. Marco was so angry that his liver hurt. Luozi didn't have the slightest bit of embarrassment about robbing pirates. He does need a lot of money. There are more people in Elegia now, and there will be more in the future. Some trivial tasks cannot always be left to King Gordon. Real maids are needed. There is also the problem of food. The pastures, farms, orchards, etc. on the island need someone to take care of them. There are also city repairs and so on. In short, manpower is needed, and hiring manpower, of course, costs money. Marco delivered it to the door, and Luozi didn't mind asking Whitebeard for some money. At this time, he came out of the Kamui space and saw Gordon walking towards him head-on. Luozi, today's class is over. Luozi sat at the dining table, picked up an apple and took a bite. Let them practice freely. Gordon sat across from him and said in a low tone, "Did a pirate land on the ground today?" "Why do you say that? You are Shishibukai now. If it is a marine, there will be no fight. If it is a civilian, it will not be a fight. It will only happen when the pirates land, and the people who come are very strong, right?" Gordon analyzed. "It's really strong." Luozi nodded and said with a smile, "It's been resolved, don't worry." Gordon was silent for a long time before saying, "Luozi, I have decided that the position of King Elegia should be given to you." After eating the apple, Luozi looked surprised. "The reconstruction plan was originally proposed by you and Yuta, and you have been working hard for it. On the contrary, I, the king, can't help at all." Gordon sighed and said, "Elegia after reconstruction, I have no face to face the hundreds of thousands of people who died. I am no longer worthy to be the king. From now on, you are the king, Luozi. Elegia please." With that said, he got up and bowed solemnly. Seeing this, Luozi ate a whole apple, then nodded and said, "Since you said so, then so be it. From now on, I will take over your position and be the king of Elegia." Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.